Банковская система и экономика России находятся в фазе цифровой трансформации.
Russian banking system and economics are in the process of digital transformation. Where is the industry going in terms of building new services? Olga Skorobogatova, first deputy chairman, Central Bank of the Russian Federation, will speak about that. Welcome.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги, добрый день, уважаемые друзья.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Good afternoon, dear friends. It's a rare case when we all together decided to meet here on a Saturday. Many people prefer to spend this time in their country cottages, but I think it's such an important
Организаторы мне сказали, что в принципе
subject that it deserves our attention. We have something to tell you. You have something to hear. The organizers told me that it's the first time they decided to include a session like this about the financial market. And I would like to say that it is certainly right, because from the viewpoint on the work on information security in terms of anti-fraud tools, the financial market is perhaps the first one to take
должен понимать, как ему двигаться дальше.
The brunt of this, and it has to understand how to move forward. You know, I will allow myself a few words about where we are. Had I been speaking 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to show a picture of this, but now it's not even a picture. It's basically a living structure of how services are running. If you take a closer look, then the commercial services that are at the fringe of this schematic, firstly, they're very numerous now. There are much more of them than in the past. And we've got used to a lot of them in our daily lives, such as digital mortgage, such as pay services, fast payments, digital insurance. But look what's there in the center. The government used to be in a situation where we were not trying to build a centralized infrastructure. And perhaps over the past 10 years or so, we have made the leap forward, if you compare us today with what we were 10 years ago, is that the government and the regulator, the central bank as the regulator, decided to build a lot of digital infrastructures that, on the other hand, offer opportunities for all the participants, but on the other hand, they provide the equanimity for everyone. But there's a backside to it. Once you start building large platforms or centralized infrastructure, of course, the hazards from the attackers' attempts at trying to hack such infrastructures grow tremendously. I know that Shadayev spoke with you at the Ministry of Digital Development. Everybody was speaking about digital platforms. Look, in our situation, it all started overlapping platforms and infrastructures. It's now looking as an ecosystem. Where we're going forward, what we're missing now is that all these elements of the centralized infrastructure should work seamlessly for us, because now you have to enter one app, then another one. It's not really friendly or convenient, and what the central bank and the financial market is intending to work with the Ministry of Digital Development, it's about the seamless transaction processing, regardless of whether they're initiated in the financial services market or in digital services. And the second thing we're missing, and Maksud Shadayev mentioned this, It has also been initiated by the central bank. When you have an infrastructure like this, you need to have an anti-fraud platform of an absolutely different level. And the Ministry of Digital Development, together with other ministries, are now thinking about what this anti-fraud platform should look like to safely protect us from hackers and other fraudsters. Another big project that has two sides to it. It's about open finance. Let me explain in a nutshell. Companies, of course, can use protocols where, without permission, they will make data, share data. We have decided to make a step further. We decided to set up standards to provide information, disclose information between different players with the permission of the customer in the financial market. What we need there, we need to have a commercial consent platform to be present. I guess you will agree that there's this, that in digital services, there is something similar, a consent platform, but when it comes to commercial services, I haven't I don't read such documents when assigning them, so what I consent to. But in our case, we should have a very clear understanding of what and to whom we are providing. And in this connection, all commercial financial services, and looking forward, would like to extend this approach to other kinds of data, not only financial ones, will only be possible if we have this consent platform. A few words how we see it. So indeed, everybody now has a habit formed to only do what you like. If you're uncomfortable doing something, you're not going to make a second attempt. And what we're now discussing with different players is how to build this consent platform in such a way so that it should be friendly to us. So in words, it looks like this. For instance, if we want to get deposit open to get a loan, but Bank A is requesting our data from other organizations, not only banks, in order to do the scoring, so that we could electronically tell this organization, okay, I agree you to offer them this data, and the validity period will be 1 week or 1 month. As soon as the transaction is closed, you've got your loan, you go back to the consent platform and close your consent, withdraw. Retract your consent so that nobody could abuse your data. As to the prototypes, we think that we'll have it before the end of this year as a prototype, and next year we'll try and start several services. And so the first product will be financial assistance. And as a country, we're not alone there. I recently visited a conference in Dubai, and the main players are actually showcasing the capabilities of a financial assistant for a person. What does it mean? You don't think about where you have deposits, transactions, accounts. And if you've chosen a product, then your mobile phone, your profile is formed, and in this case, you are offered a product with best possible conditions.
And obviously, we have to take into account the monopoly of some players on the market, but still you can get what you need for your specific request. In terms of open finances, I would like to draw your attention to that it works really well in insurance, because we tried a few cases with digital resolving of road accidents cases. It's still in its inception stage, but in order to call a person who would assess the damages, or maybe they can do it remotely and they can just do it and go on with their day, or maybe they can do it without an assessment service. This will be in the future, and for this we also need an API. In terms of financial future projects, this project in open finances and consent platform will be the main one for the next 2 years. We also have another project, maybe you even tested it in the pilot version, is a digital ruble. We were able to create a digital platform. It didn't take a lot of time. And there was a heated debate. Those who followed the discussion probably heard central bank, why would we do this? Because we have payments, we have digital cards, and they work. Well, they do work. But taking into account that we have a lot of currencies and assets moving out of cash, we don't really use cash anymore. We have like 17% of assets which we use cash. We are moving towards cashless society. And what we do not have as citizens and what we would like to maintain is that we would have an ability to store money in a digital wallet, but without any additional problems from the banking side. And oftentimes we hear that banks could set some limits, some tariffs, and when you compare your life with cash in a normal wallet, you understand and you can see the differences. So the digital ruble is aimed to solve the problem, and we, as the Bank of Russia, we are creating this platform for this. So what kind of operations will it have and how would it work? I think this is an important point. This would be a mid-term project, 3 to 5 years, and we will start using it very actively soon. You will be able to use any bank and open a digital wallet for digital ruble using the platform of the Central Bank of Russia. Moreover, you'll be able to use any bank to transfer your money into this digital wallet. If you transfer money to another person or maybe from one wallet to another, this will be for free, and we already agreed on this. In terms of companies that would receive these payments, will be at least or no more than 0.3. We had a heated debate with banks who did not want to let us go from their embraces, but it's not about embraces, it's really about injustice of tariffs for common users. And that is why we agreed with banks that obviously banks will continue opening different accounts and maintain and provide services for those accounts for citizens, give out loans, but this new digital tool, digital ruble, will allow citizens to be independent from banking tariffs. So if we take a look at the government, this allows to provide digitalization of the economy. And I must say that any digital tool, and obviously if it's a payment tool, will create a new payment system. And in our case, it will be 24/7 online. So we increase the speed of payments between customers, vendors, users, and basically for all the government money spending. Second point regarding the digital ruble and basically all national digital currencies, and I must say that many other countries are introducing these kind of projects. You've heard about digital yuan. There will be other countries that will have pilot transactions projects. This is an ability to create a new trans-border system where you can go and bypass SWIFT and integrate different platforms. And in this case, you have an ability to make a payment online between different countries if two countries have agreed on the integration. There is also another promising project. If you issue a digital national currency, then you can switch somewhere in between. We also call it a star in our slang, when all the digital currencies are connected to some kind of center and they work through this center if there are multiple countries involved. We have two main options as the key ones. And I think we will work on both of them. What kind of operations are available with digital ruble right now, and what do we plan for the future? Currently, we have 12 banks that are involved in the pilot project. Among the main operations, we have transfer from one person to the other, paying back or return money for it to be pay back money, and we also work with smart contracts, partially based on blockchain. What do we plan to do next year? It will be a dynamic QR, which is what you can pay in a local store. These are payments between legal entities, extending the line of smart contracts, and digital ruble in our budgeting will be concerning some social payments where it's very important to be very fast. And digital ruble will enhance these capabilities. So why did I mention those two projects, API and digital ruble? And the reason is that those are two main projects that will heavily change financial infrastructure and system. And it will happen very fast, as I said, 3 to 5 years. At the same time, well, going back to my first idea regarding the first slide of the presentation, we need to understand how do we protect ourselves, how do we protect customers, clients, vendors, because the more digital we become, the higher the risks. One of the solutions is what we can see is to have anti-fraud platform at the country level. Second solution is that we can test our platforms with different organizations, with the help of different organizations that look for vulnerabilities, and then they provide information and reports on this. The benefit of the digital ruble is that we want to have a certain procedure so that foreign, and not only foreign, but also domestic organization, so that they will be able to test if digital ruble system is robust or not, if it has all the necessary security and defensive measures. And many countries do so when they launch a major platform, they always go through this testing period. And we are contemplating this approach, and probably we will do this just to be on the safe side, that this is a completely robust platform and it will stand any scams or potential hacks. In terms of financial services, from the commercial side, I think that it's also pretty close, about 3 to 5 years, and we will see an exponential growth of products and services that will use digital ruble. You will see players, you already see players that provide medical services, different products, and they can use this new currency. Obviously, we have competition on the market, and this competition also provides different financial services. So the combination of financial and non-financial services at the level of commercial organizations with the new platforms at the level of the government obviously provides us with pretty digital life in all those different aspects, small one, major one, minor one. And I really like the idea of this forum. I think it's very important to discuss not only how we develop, but it's also very important how we should protect ourselves and what we should do to protect ourselves. That is why, dear colleagues, I think I would address everybody who's here and who's involved in information security directly. And I would say that many companies working with digital rubles and APIs, they had discussions with the central bank. And I must say that the number of people and the number of companies who are really, really good in information security in our country, well, we have quite a lot of them. And I must say that I think that we can actually export these services, at least to friendly countries that cooperate with us, because security has become an inherent part of services and products. Sometimes we call this smart security, agile security, but I think it's very important to, well, when we create different services, financial, non-financial, doesn't matter. It is very important to think about security when we just design this, work together with the information security experts and build all the processes so that they'll be flexible and for us to have understanding. So yes, on the one hand, we can respond, it's very important, but on the other hand, we are protected. And always we can introduce new technologies despite all the difficulties we face today. What else do we see? And I must mention this. In recent times, I believe during the last 2 years, the number of technologies in information security, new technologies and adapted technologies have increased. And this is indicative of our potential. It means that we as a country can move forward very fast. And in this regard, providing good security and sovereignty, as well as development of new technologies. Dear colleagues, I stayed within the time frame, exactly 20 minutes. Obviously, I could go on for another 30 minutes, but I hope that the next speaker and the following speakers have interesting topics to cover, and I should give them an opportunity to do so. Thank you very much, and please write to Central Bank if you have any questions. Once we have more options for digital ruble, please join the movement. Thank you.